So, welcome everybody. Here we are on another Thursday night, Chloe with Love and Relationships. Um, thank you for coming. This meetup has been going on for about 2.5 years, and we are always growing. So, I really do appreciate the support. Um, my name is Chloe Ballatori. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a relationship and communication expert. I'm a graduate of Princeton University and Pat Allen's One Institute. And I do these groups every week on Meetup. Well, usually, most Thursdays I'm here. I do these groups every week on Meetup because I want to share this work. Um, I was mentored by Pat Allen. Some people know Pat Allen. She's pretty famous in the LA and Orange County areas. She mentored Patty Stanger of Millionaire Matchmakers. She mentored Marianne Williamson. She's been around a while. She's in her 90s, so she's mostly in retirement. And she mentored me. I've written 4 books on this work. Those are available on Amazon. The first book, How to Live, Find, Love, and Keep It, really has the basics of this work. Um, but each book has its own topic. So if you're interested, you like this work, I recommend you explore those. I'm putting my credentials in the chat now. Um, I'm also teaching, if you guys like this work tonight, I'm teaching my first book, Find, Love, and Keep It, in a small private group setting. It will be 4 Saturdays starting this Saturday. I still have one more spot available. If you guys want to sign up for that, that's in the module packages, and I probably won't teach it again this year. So if you've been thinking about it or been on the fence, I suggest you jump on that. It's always just, we already have a really good group going, and it's just more intimate. We can go deeper. And I love doing these groups because we do get a chance all to learn from each other. I also do private sessions, which are great because we can go really deep in a private session. But there's also the benefit of the group work. I've been doing this work for about 12 years now, and I am over 20 years married. So everything that I'm going to be teaching you guys tonight and talking with you guys about tonight, I have vetted myself, and I've also probably at this point helped thousands of people. So I'm going to first give an introduction. The scholarship that this work is based on isn't new, but I'm going to synopsize it. What's innovative about this work are the tools to execute on some of that established scholarship. And after I give the introduction, we're going to spend most of the night on your questions because that's how we really learn. I can talk about theories for the next hour, but or longer, probably. But it really helps when you guys have questions and then we engage with the work that way. I've worked with people many times who just listen and take notes, but when you actually engage with the work and do some of the things that I suggest, you will experience change in your life. Um, this work has gotten results in from for people who have been frustrated by traditional therapy, um, and that's actually what drew me into it at first, is I saw an incredible result in a neighbor where she really changed her life around in 3 years, getting married and starting a business, all of it. And when I saw that, I was so impressed. I wanted to find out what this work was about. I didn't really understand it the first night. Something resonated and I stuck with it. And, I started in a group not unlike this one, except it was in person and it wasn't free. So the rest of the night after my introduction, which will be about 10 minutes, I'm going to focus on your guys' questions. So think about what brought you here, what you want, what you don't want. My focus is love and relationships, but The principles and the dynamics I'm going to discuss tonight really apply to all of life. So I help people with family relationships, I help people with work situations, I work with teenagers, conflict resolution, communication problems. These tools will travel. Okay, so what are we talking about here? When we think of successful relationships, the most successful relationships are those that are balanced between masculine and feminine energy, also known as yin yang. And the principles of yin yang are probably at least thousands of years old, right? But we also have more recent scholarship in Western medicine in which we've proven definitively that all of us have a right hemisphere of the brain that is creative. This is the seat of sexuality, sensuality, magic, receiving energy. This is the world of feelings, of magic. This energy is in the world to make it fun, but it's not of the world. It's passive, patient, vulnerable. Okay, that's yin energy. And then we all of us have this left brain that is more singular minded, that is competitive, conquering, controlling. This is the world of ideas. Most of us are in our left brain, our masculine side, when we're at work, for example, because we're doing, achieving, taking care of. Okay. And masculine energy is very much of the world. So all of us are both feminine and masculine. And it's this balance that is unique to each one of us that enables us to live authentic lives. When we're young, we're often thrown off our original authentic balance because of our needs to attach to the people who own the refrigerator in our homes, right? Human children are not very independent. And so we often, between the ages of 0 to 12, need to sacrifice our authenticity in order to attach to the grown-ups that run our lives. Now, the problem occurs when we take those strategies that we used in childhood that were really just strategies of the moment and extrapolate from there and think these are existential truths and take them into our adult lives. Okay. They're not existential truths. Almost all of the scripts from childhood, when we talk about scripting and stories and narratives, many of them are negative and will end up sabotaging us when we move into adulthood. So, a coping strategy that worked for you between ages of 0 and 12 very often will not work and not translate into your adult life. But the unconscious mind and the subconscious mind will play it out in a way that the conscious mind could never. And so all those wounds from childhood end up coming up for healing. And so that's why so many people say, I thought I wasn't marrying my dad. I thought I wasn't dating my mom. And lo and behold, she was just like my mom. He was just like my dad. This happens all the time because we see our childhood trauma most frequently show up in our intimate relationships. Okay. And so that's one of the things that I really help people with is bringing them into balance because a lot of us have had some kind of trauma in our childhood that has forced us to become what is known as precociously related. And that means if we're girls, we've been thrown into our masculine too early and been forced to take on too much responsibility. If we're boys, we haven't been given the respect and the responsibility that we need to have to become men. So that makes men more feminine. And that results in grown-ups who are using their masculine and feminine sides in ways that don't serve them. And so I help people end that kind of self-sabotage so that they can actually get what they want out of life. Now, these patterns are super tenacious, right? Freud said that, childhood was the only reality and that whatever happened actually, Freud said by the age of 3, you're cooked. But we now know that the brain is plastic. The brain can change itself. Norman Deutsch is a great writer on this subject if you are interested in reading more about how the brain changes and how the brain repairs itself, specifically after strokes. But really, anytime you want to change a thought pattern, it takes work. This is the work, but you can be successful at it. And it's usually after you want to give up. It often takes longer than you think. Although when you first start this work, you frequently see uh results in areas that you've never seen results before. So it can go slow, it can go fast. That's, really God's domain, not mine. But so I help people identify those scripts that are not serving them. I help people identify if they are authentically in feminine energy in their personal relationships or in masculine energy or in some combination of both. Just because you're born a woman doesn't mean you inhabit feminine energy, right? Like probably 15 to 25% of people born with feminine organs inhabit masculine energy. So the important thing is to have balance in your life, in your relationships, being your authentic self. One is not better than the other. So it's not better if you're feminine or masculine. What we look for more than strict equality in our relationships is equity, because equity acknowledges the differences between men and women. Okay. So that's the background of this work. Did you say 55? No, I said 15 to 25%, Wendy, of women have masculine energy, and about 15 to 25% of men have feminine energy. So this work applies to gay relationships, trans relationships, because it's all about energy. Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions now. Kiara, I see you raise your hand.
Hey, Chloe.
Hi, Kiara. Welcome back. How are you? How can
You.
I help you?
Thank you. I've been listening to you on YouTube, so I've been caught up with all the other meetings, but
So
I'm
you've never really left.
exactly exactly. But yeah, I really wanted to ask this question. So as you know, we've had private before. I had a medical issue. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but I had a medical issue a while ago. And so now I'm on a leave right now, feeling a lot better than I was.
Good.
But thank you. And I hear other people kind of talking about this a little bit, but my thing is how to navigate um pretty much like saying where I'm at without one, like I know I don't owe anyone anything or explanation of where I'm at in my medical records, but at the same time, I want to be honest because I'm not ashamed of myself, but I still don't want to give too much. And I recently had an experience and I was asked what I do for work. And I said, I'm in social work. But right now I'm not working because I'm getting off of a medical leave. Mind you, like I know a lot of guys sometimes think that because that in this day and age women are looking for someone to take care of them and all this stuff, which in a way, you want a masculine man
Yes, of
to take care,
course.
but I'm not looking for someone to fund my life. And I don't know if people are
Why
getting
not?
yeah,
No,
true.
seriously, why not?
Oh, true. I just don't want to come off because I think that I don't know if people are getting the bad impression. So this is what I said, and I would like you to
Okay.
maybe judge what I said. I just said I'm on a medical leave, but I am lucky, and then I don't even feel like I have to tell them this, but I just don't want people to get the wrong impression. So I just say I have like work insurance, so I've been very like so I'm good right now, and I'm taking my time going back to work, and I've only really had one bad one experience where I've even gotten to that point with the guy, but after that I noticed I mean he could have left for many reasons, but I don't know. I don't know what's the right thing to say
Okay.
And
So are
yeah.
you talking about on the dating app? Are you talking about in person, over text, over phone?
Yeah, I'm talking about just in general when that
Okay.
subject comes up. Is
With
there
relative strangers.
exactly with
Right.
someone you're talking to, like, hey, what do you do for work? Whether it's
Okay.
on the apps or whether it's texting or whether
I
it's on
mean,
a date.
honestly, I think you could be even more vague about it, and
Oh,
just
okay.
say it's all up to you. You know, obviously, if you get into a relationship with a masculine man, you're going to want to be vulnerable to him and see
Right.
how he reacts. But it's not something that I would lead with a stranger, you know, especially
Got you.
not when you can't see their face and their facial reactions.
Right.
Um, or at least hear their voice. So like maybe if you were having like a Zoom or a FaceTime or a phone
Yeah.
call, but not over text, not over DM, nothing. I wouldn't get into too much detail about that. You can just say I'm in social work. That's it.
Yeah. Well, then they start asking about like so
Oh,
the
like
last
what's your
time.
schedule and stuff?
Yes,
Okay, then you
exactly.
can just say, "Oh, I'm in between. I'm doing freelance," or I'm in between
Okay.
gigs, or I'm working whatever. I mean, if you're not working at all, who cares?
Yeah.
Um, but I do want to just say, like, I think I remember. Is this correct that you want to be in the feminine energy?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then it's absolutely fine to have a man take care of you.
Right. That's a good point.
And so I know you laughed at that, but you know, if a man is asking too many questions about, well, what's your job? Well, what money do you make? Well, what are you bringing to the table?
That's
That's
not a
not
masculine man.
right. That's not a sign
Yeah.
of a masculine man. That's a sign of somebody who is looking for, more of a 50-50 kind
Yeah.
of, you know, disco dance relationship, or maybe even wanting a more masculine woman, someone to take care of
Right.
him, right?
Right. So what you're saying is, if I'm interpreting this correctly, a masculine man is not going to be scared off by the fact that I'm in between jobs.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm saying don't say your medical thing until you meet, because
Right.
I already know you look good, but other
Thank you.
people, I mean, like other people aren't going to people could let their imagination run away with them. I'm not
Right.
saying that's right, but I'm just like, let's just hedge your bets and not bring that up until you actually meet and someone sees, oh, she's fit, she's fine, like everything's
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I'm
Uh,
just not rushing right now. There's no reason for me to rush when I am okay right now with my situation. So it's kind of like I'm not gonna rush. So I don't feel the need to like, oh, I gotta get a job so it looks better to with dating. It's like, no, I'm okay
no,
right now.
yeah, a hundred
Yes.
percent. And it's not a job interview. If he keeps asking about your thoughts,
Yeah.
redirect to your feelings.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying be like this all the time, but certainly like when you're first meeting someone, you're not going to want to lead with your achievements with a man in the masculine, because then that sets up a competition. So
Mm.
it's fine to just be like, yeah, I'm just taking some time off,
Yeah.
self-care, or I'm in
Because
between
that's not lying,
stuff.
right? Like that wouldn't be lying. That's just saying that's like true. It's like
Yeah,
I'm just taking some. Oh, I'm just taking some. I'm in social work, but I'm taking some time off, thinking about changing careers or something
right.
like that.
Right.
Okay, that works. Thank you so much. It was
You are
very
so
helpful.
welcome. Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, who's next? I'm looking at this.
That would be Sophia.
Sophia? Okay, thank you, Roll. Hi, Sophia. Welcome back. How can I help you?
Hey, I was just coming back to get some advice on someone I'm talking to online, and I'm not sure if this guy is trustworthy or not.
Okay, hit me with it.
Yeah. So most of my interactions with him online, we haven't met yet, but most of them seem pretty like all right. Like he communicates openly, but sometimes my concern is like, well, I changed my profile to not put have kids in it because I got a lot of trolls doing that, unfortunately. Um, but he kind of he kind of threw a wobbly at me when I told him that I was a single mom. He said some of the things he said for context was, "So you're a single mom? That's so tough and impressive to me. May I ask about the father? Do you guys have a healthy co-parenting relationship? Do you have help with babysitting? Or what is dating going to look like for you?"
That
Those
seems
were two questions.
okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he wants to meet you, so he's just like wondering what the landscape is like. If you don't even
Oh,
have a
okay.
babysitter or your child never goes with with his or her dad, then you know, then he's never going to be able to see you.
Yeah,
Right? I
I'm
mean,
just new to this whole dating thing, but that's good news that you think it's just an innocuous question, I guess.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think that's good. I think that the what I like about that question is that he's thinking about, you can tell from that question that he's thinking about seeing you and he wants to meet in person because I told you don't go more than 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we're definitely striking when the iron is hot. We have a date planned for the 16th. And I already kind of had it in my head, like, whatever, he lives in like a state away. He travels to my hometown a
Oh,
lot.
I remember you told me about him.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, I think you mentioned him like last week or maybe the week before that he
Yeah.
traveled, somebody who traveled a lot for work.
And I told him like I was having doubts that this is gonna work out because the distance, and I've never had a long distance relationship. And I said I'll think about it for a few days. And I came back and I said I'm open to it. Really, in my mind at that time, I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna duty date and just get the weirdness out of the whole online dating. This will be my first date in like 3 years off of online dating.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah, so I figured, hey, what the hell? Like, it either works or it doesn't. And
Yeah.
I also had that landscaper kind of come out of the woodwork.
He came back around. I'm not
I saw
surprised.
him. I saw him on Bumble and I blocked him because I was like, this is weird. And he stopped coming to mow my lawn for like 3 weeks. And then we saw each other on Bumble, and now he wants to come back. And then he flaked out today. And I saw his truck. He came like in my neighborhood, I think. I'm not sure if it was him. And I was like, oh, because like I was driving on the road and things just get really weird with him.
Yeah, he
Like
sounds
trying
like
to,
maybe he's conflicted.
yeah. I'm not interested in a conflicted guy. I need a decisive guy. Um, but it's kind of funny to like work out the details of like what's going on with this guy, this clown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, stay open, but take notes,
Yeah.
because
I'll
I
keep
don't,
you posted.
yeah, keep me posted on him. And I'm curious to see how this other guy turns out too.
Yeah, I'm hoping something good will happen.
Yeah.
No hopes not very high,
But
but
something
yeah.
good has already happened because you putting yourself out there, you're understanding how to stay in the feminine energy. That effort is always rewarded, even if it's not like direct result with this guy or that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That effort will still be rewarded somewhere down the line because you're shifting
Yeah.
energy. So, like I said, something good has already happened. The rest we can't really control. So, excellent work. Where's Sophia? Okay. Okay. Raul, do you know who's
Oh,
next?
yeah, Wendy's next on the
Wendy.
list.
Okay. Hi, Wendy. I can't hear you. Wendy? Maybe you're Wendy. Hmm. Okay, Wendy. I'm going to come back to you because I can't hear you anything. Okay.
Yeah, she may be having issues because her camera doesn't show.
Okay.
Susan's iPhone.
Okay, let's move on to Susan's iPhone. Hi, Susan's iPhone.
Hey, I didn't do that. It just pops up like that.
I know. We have Zoom user in here too, I think.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's
It's okay.
funny. Okay.
Welcome back. How can I help you?
Yeah, thanks.
Good to hear your
Well,
voice.
yeah, good to be here. I my daughter's family moved to San Diego. So the
Okay.
first time I went down to see them, which was like 2 months ago, I was like, oh, maybe I should check out, the scene online dating in San Diego while I'm here. And um, I heard from two guys like the same day I switched the location. And one guy I actually met because I was down there for a week. So I met him and we had lunch and it was good. He seemed like a nice guy. And then I told him I'd be down like once a month and that eventually I might move down because to be closer to my grandkids.
Right.
So, because it's hard because I'm trying to be honest, but at the same time, I want to say enough that they aren't just going to go, oh, forget it. She doesn't live here, because I've had some guys do that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
In
know,
the
it
end, it's up
depends.
to them. I just
Yeah.
can tell them my truth and then it's up to them.
Exactly.
So anyway,
I mean,
this
it's
one
not
guy,
that far. I don't think
yeah,
you're being misleading or
no,
anything.
exactly. So, um, and what do they have to do? Because it's like I'm doing the driving.
Right, exactly.
So,
But maybe
yeah.
they want to do driving. But yeah, okay.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they
Do
want to
the
see, can I come
masculine.
see you? I mean, it's kind of cool that they're asking about it because again, it
Yeah.
makes it sound like they are thinking about a future with you, just like what the Sophia's guy was asking about.
Yeah. So then I had this next month I went down and we had lunch again and it was better because we're getting to know each other. It's
Right.
kind of slow, but
Right.
I had initially asked him, hey, we should, stay in contact in between my visits. He's like, yeah, sure. Well, but he doesn't really because
Right.
I'm not gonna run that bus,
Right. You're
that
not
he's
going to
in
reach
charge of
out.
that.
Right. Right.
No. So, but it's kind of okay because I have a life, so I
Yeah.
just keep
And
busy.
I like that, just let me know when you're available. And then he seems like he's ready to hook up when you're there.
That's what he says. He's
Okay.
like, he'll be like, oh, I had a great time. Let me
Yeah,
know
some
next
men
time
just
you're going
aren't
to be
that
in
chit
town.
chatty on the phone, you know?
Yeah. Or texting. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, he could just be, he's still working. So he's busy doing
Right.
his job or
Yeah.
career. So, but so I've never done before. So it's
I can't hear you now.
because there's nothing in between.
Oh,
So,
so wait,
so
say
we'll
that
have,
again?
well, it's kind of slow.
Okay.
You get a little bored in between because
Right.
it's like, and actually, last time I was there, I kind of wished he'd said, hey, because I saw him on Saturday lunch and I left Sunday late afternoon. So I wish he would show a little more enthusiasm, like, hey, maybe I can see you again before you drive back up, or hey, maybe we can go for a walk. But he doesn't do that. So I'm just waiting.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think he's showing appropriate interest. He's not sure how much you're going to be in San Diego. He doesn't want to get
Yeah.
too attached. You're getting to know him slowly. That's fine. He's just one of the many fish in the sea.
Yeah. Right. So he asked me this time, well, what would you like to do? So I was like, okay, I'll just say, I want to go to dinner and I'll walk on the beach. And so he's like, okay, we can do a restaurant. So I like that he's very, cooperative, even if he may not be real creative with
Right. Well, you can always pull
his.
in his participation by saying, oh, I think I'd enjoy dinner and a walk on the beach. What do you think? right?
Oh
That
yeah.
teases out his masculinity a little more,
What do you
gives him a little
think?
more
Yeah.
confidence to take control. It's a subtle thing, but it works.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and so then there's another guy I talked to last night, and he was a little unsure since I live, well, he thinks it's 2 hours away, but it's really more like three.
Okay.
Anyway, um, and at the end of the he kind of set a time limit. I know he's very busy. I'm very interested in him because I like his look. He's very intelligent. He's sort of a entrepreneur kind of guy, and I see that he bikes and hikes and very physically active, and I like doing that stuff too.
Good.
So he's like, well, yeah, so call me when you're down if you want to go to coffee or something, and we'll see if it works out or something like that. And so I didn't get a real strong, and he also set a time limit. He's, like I said, he's busy, but it was like 10 or 15-minute call, which actually was fine. You don't
Mhm.
need to go on and on for an
Yeah,
hour.
good.
So yeah, so I think
What did
that's good
Kiara write
too.
here? He sounds like he's being intentional. I know she said that about Sophia, but it sounds like he's being intentional. I like that. He's taking
Yeah,
control.
right.
This is going to be 15 minutes. I like it.
I actually do too. I don't, because I'm not very good at calling it or saying, oh, I have to go now, because I'm
Right.
afraid they'll think I'm rejecting them.
Right.
But I didn't feel that way. I
Good.
knew in the beginning, he said, hey, I've only got such and such time.
He's
And I was like,
mature.
okay.
And that was
Well,
cherishing. He
yeah.
also cherished your feelings because he didn't want to hurt your feelings at 10 minutes and go,
Oh,
okay, gotta go. He told you up front.
yeah. That was good.
Green flags.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah. So I think I'll,
No question. Do you have a question?
well, my question was just about how the pace of
Okay.
long distance, and
Let him
do these
set the
things
pace.
sound appropriate? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
Until,
So far, so
you
good.
know more, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have this extra limit, sort of.
And I know it's frustrating, especially for a lot of us women. Like, we think we could do it better, or we could plan it better, or this comes up a lot when we receive gifts from men, right? Oh, it's not exactly
Mm.
what I wanted. It wasn't exactly, what I asked for.
Mhm.
And it's important to not ask our partners for more, better, or different love, especially in the moment that they're giving it. If a pattern starts happening where you don't feel heard or you feel ignored, then you make an appointment to discuss it. But when somebody's trying to give to you and take care of you and take you to dinner, that's not the time to criticize and complain, right? And
Right.
it's hard to be patient. It's hard to wait for these
Yeah.
guys sometimes to get around to it, but that is you'll be happier in the long run that you waited. And that's
Right.
that's the feminine energy. Anyways, the feminine energy does not chase.
Yes. And by being patient and waiting, then I can, it gives me time to just kind of see, well, do I like this guy, or,
And to see if
maybe
he
some other
likes
guy comes
you.
along. It's like, yes, that too. It's both ways. Yeah.
So good. Yeah, I think that sounds really good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking
Awesome.
forward to your update.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'd like to hear it from you, because like when I ask my girlfriends, they're just like, oh, it won't last. Or, oh, people who play in bands are players.
Oh,
They just say
yeah.
all this stuff. It's very negative. And I'm
Why do
like,
they do that? I know friends
I don't
try to be
know.
really helpful. This is like one of the things I'm always dealing with my clients. Friends try to be really helpful, and we go to them for advice and support and whatnot. But if they haven't had this training, then they don't
Yeah.
know what the hell they're saying or doing, and
I know.
sometimes
I just
this
want to
works
hear
for
from them. Oh, that sounds great. Or, oh, I hope it works out. Or he sounds like a nice guy. Just tell me positive things. I know
right.
more than you. I'm not going to say to them, I know more than you do about
And you know how girls
relationships.
are. We're so fucking competitive, you know? And like
Well, yes.
consciously you'll be tearing somebody else's relationship down because you're trying to justify something in your own head. You
Yeah,
know,
I
it's
think
like,
that's part of it too. It's like
yeah.
I feel like I can't say much because they'll just get jealous, or it's the competitive
Yeah.
thing. They
And
want to do
take
better. They
note,
don't want me to get a guy because they want a guy.
right. So take note of who
Yeah,
is supporting you and who just is like
yeah,
wants you to stay in the shit with you.
exactly. And yeah, I just won't say much to them.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Because it's it's really easy to tear shit down, but it's hard to build
yeah.
something. And if you hear too much of that negative talk, you won't be able to build something.
Right. It gets in the
No matter
way
how
of your
strong you
thinking.
are, how much you like him or how convicted you are.
Yep.
It's toxic.
Yes, it is. I agree. Yes, I definitely had that feeling. There were two that were negative. One was very positive, and I thought to myself, yeah, I'm going to
That's
tell
your friend.
her the
Yeah,
details. I'm
she's
going to
your
go to
friend.
her with these dates. And I do the same
Exactly.
thing for her because she's got even a longer distance. Hers was like 6 hours, which a guy she started seeing. And so same thing. It's like I'm being
Right.
positive and supportive because that's what I want. Yeah.
Good.
So
Good.
we're doing that for each other. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you
Yeah.
have someone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for support with both those things that I
You're
shared.
welcome. It's nice to hear
Yeah.
from you. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
You're
hearing your
welcome.
guys' updates. As you know, it's it's great to get the questions, but then it's nice to hear when you guys come back, how are these tools working? Did you get this? Did you understand this? Was this executed in alignment with what you want? And that's really how we learn, is by trying these things and doing them over and over. Okay. Okay. I
Rose, Rose will be next.
okay. Okay, thanks, Ro. Hi, Rose.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. How can I
Okay,
help
good.
you?
I have a couple questions. Usually, I have question come up after I listen to what others say. The first one, I just want to confirm because I may not have heard enough of your lesson before. So you were talking about the feminine energy. Uh, most men are masculine, but if some man has feminine energy, does that mean they're gay or not necessary?
Not necessarily. Some men in feminine energy are gay, but some men in feminine energy are just more feminine energy men. I did a reel on this actually recently. There's a couple on the Real Housewives of Dubai, if you watch reality TV, but the woman is older and the man is younger, and he's the more feminine energy one. He's very attractive. I mean, they're both attractive, but he's young. He's, obviously, in the prime of his life. But she has more money. She's more in control. She's, taking charge of things. And this often can work, especially because as women get older, we get a little more masculine with changes in hormones. And so picking up with a feminine guy is, perfectly acceptable as long as it's balanced. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, earlier
Does that make
I need to
sense?
cough, so I'm mute. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
But I'm wondering if how can I tell that man is feminine? For example, if he pay attention to his look a lot, does that mean he's feminine?
It could. That's one sign. Um, does he talk about his feelings? Does he lead with his feelings? Um, the ultimate test is, what does he want more? He want his thoughts respected or his feelings cherished? Everybody wants both. But in an awkward situation, in a conflict, where does he stand? Which one does he want more? And sometimes you can tell that by their behavior. I recently had a couple come in. She was already an existing client. She brought her guy in. He's an actor. He creates off his feminine energy. He wants his feelings cherished, right? So does
Mm.
she. So they're not compatible because both of them are fighting for that feelings cherished position.
Oh,
and
okay.
there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make him bad or her bad. It's just the way that it is. I mean, I live in Los Angeles, so there's a lot of actors here. A lot of actors are feminine men. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Obviously, he could switch when he's not acting, he could move into masculine. But it does
Mm,
happen that many actors, artists have a strong feminine side. So then,
oh,
if you're interested in men like that, but you want a masculine man, you might have to look a little for somebody who also has that masculine side. Because a true alpha is somebody with a strong feminine side and a strong masculine side. That goes for men or women. And if you're an
okay.
alpha, usually you want to find another alpha. So it doesn't mean anything's wrong with the guy, but you just have to see, can you elicit his masculine side? If he's sharing too much of his feelings, ask about his thoughts. See what he says. Is he able to move into that role? If you fall down and get hurt, can he pick you up? Can he help you? Can he take care of you when you're sick? You have to just see through his behavior where he's at.
Okay. Okay. So next one is I've met this guy about
Okay, this
10
is
months.
your second question, but then I have to
Yes.
move on, okay? Because other people have their hands raised.
Oh, I'm the second one. Okay. So I met this guy 10 months and we have been talking, texting a lot, sometimes video chatting, but not a lot. We have met about once a month. I know that's not enough. I don't feel enough. He keeps saying he's busy. He may be busy and he has little kids as well, but I just don't feel enough. And it is long distance, about 1.5 or 2 hours drive when it's traffic.
Right.
So I'm trying to, uh, and we haven't been exclusive, right? And we
Are
have
you exclusive?
no, no.
No. Oh, okay.
But when we met, even when we not met, when we text, he's able to make me happy when we communicate. It's very easy, very fun, very compatible. And even when we met, he would like to make time for me and made a whole day just meet with me. And one time we even went travel one night, so it was really fun, very compatible. But other than that, we just don't have enough time together. So
Right.
recently, I tried to get online. Uh, I just don't see when I look at those guys this first time after I have in divorce process, first time get online dating. I just don't see others attractive. Should I just keep waiting? And how do I get online to date someone? And
Okay.
others have sent me likes or even sent me rose. What other website? I do the hinge. What other website should I've heard that Bumble is not good, Tinder is not good. Those are looking for hookups. So I don't know what's others'
Okay.
experience. The other lady earlier, she was able to meet some guy just in San
Yeah,
Diego.
I mean,
What website?
it does depend on the person and the timing and all that. I do think men and women struggle to put their best foot forward online, and so that's why I recommend the 5 flirts, which is an in-person tool. Have we talked about that?
Oh, I haven't heard it before.
Okay. So what I want you to do is, since you're looking for somebody, is I want you to be flirting 5 days a week. 4 of those flirts will be just in the course of your day. So if you're at the grocery store and you see someone who catches your eye, if you're at the library, if you're walking your dog, whatever you're doing in the course of your day, you see someone that catches your eye, you give him 5 seconds of eye contact and smile. Same time. That's your signal to him that he can approach. Okay.
Mm,
You don't approach unless
okay.
you need help with something. Can you get this door for me? It's too heavy, right? 1 day a week, you're going to plant yourself somewhere. A
Mm,
Starbucks near the fire station is a good one. Maybe it's a museum cafe. Maybe you go and learn to play golf to meet people, whatever it is. But you plant yourself somewhere for 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere where you like the kind of men that show up there. Maybe it's a hotel bar. And then you can do your same thing, your eye contact and smile at the same time for 5 seconds. And someone has a real chance to approach you, sit down, you have a chance to have a conversation. It's important that you go alone. Even if you go with someone, separate when you get there. Men don't like to approach a group. So you want to go alone.
Okay.
And if you start going to the same place, people will start getting to know you there in a low stress way. One of the reasons people often date people they work with is because you get to know people in many situations without the pressure of setting up dates. So if you do find a spot that's working for you, going there once a week, people getting to know you, that might make it easier, or you might want to mix it up, play with it a little bit, but you absolutely will meet people that way.
Got it. Okay.
Now, in terms of the apps, my clients like Hinge, Bumble, and Match. Those are the most popular apps that my clients use. Um, the whole concept of duty dating, especially since you're coming out of a marriage, is going out with men who are interested in you, even if you're not necessarily that interested, but giving them at least 3 dates so that you have the chance to get to know them, so that sometimes on a first date, a man can't put his best foot forward because he's nervous or whatever. Excuse me. So that's the concept behind duty dating. So you know what? Even if the guy doesn't look great to you, maybe there's something else in his profile. If there's something that slightly piques your interest, go out on the date. Go do it. You need practice. And that way, when you meet someone that you really like, you'll be
Okay.
practiced and you won't slide into your masculine and try to control him and scare him away. You understand?
One time I met a guy, I hug him. I can hear his heartbeat really fast.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay. Okay. Does that help?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Good.
you.
You're welcome.
Chloe, I think we got Wendy's mic going if you want to take her next.
Okay. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay.
Problem solved. How can I
Okay.
help you? I know you sent me that email. Do you want me to respond to that?
Actually, I'm not really interested in that guy. There's a different person I want to talk about.
Okay, shoot.
Okay. So, but thank you. Yeah, so we've been chatting online a long time, like at least 3 weeks, probably 4 weeks, but there was a lot of time in between the chats where, either of us maybe took 5 days to respond or something.
Okay.
But it's been really just kind of, what our days were like. Or like, I'm not particularly drawn to this guy. He doesn't seem real introspective, but I'm trying to, do the thing I'm doing of just being open to
The
different kinds
duty
of
dating.
people.
Yes.
And
Good.
but he hasn't expressed that he really likes me, or anything like that. Although the last one he did say sending a hug to you, but
Nice.
I don't feel comfortable at this point. Like, I don't like him enough to say, I'd feel more comfortable if we met in person, right? I know I'm supposed to
Right.
do that, but it's like it feels awkward because I don't feel that strong.
So you don't even want to meet him in person.
I would if he offered, but yeah, without him offering, it feels weird.
And how long have you been talking? A month?
3 or 4 weeks, yeah,
Okay, so you know what my policy is, no more than 2 weeks.
right. But I
So,
kept waiting for him, and
right, you gave him a little extra time. If he's not asking you out, you can either stop responding or, you can say, you said you don't want to say that I feel more comfortable meeting in person. You can just say, um, you can either just stop responding and see if he gets the message, which sometimes that's the most merciful thing to do. But if he needs an answer, then you can say, it's been nice getting to know you, but I don't have the feelings that I don't want to lead you on. And I don't have the feelings that I would need for a romantic relationship, to establish a romantic relationship.
well, I'm not sure you're understanding. I want him to ask me out. I wouldn't mind going. but it feels awkward for me to suggest it when
Well,
I
then
don't.
that's what I'm saying. Then the thing to say is, it's been nice getting to know you. However, I feel more comfortable talking in person or on the phone. What do you think?
Oh, okay, so we could go to the phone first. Yeah.
Yeah, or a Zoom, FaceTime, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. Well, good luck. Let me know how it goes.
Thanks.
Maybe you'll like him when you see him.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you.
Um, okay.
That's
Lola.
Lola.
Lola, okay. Lola?
Okay, I was trying to unmute. I couldn't do it.
Okay. We got you now.
Hello.
How can I
Okay,
help you?
so you kind of answered part of my question, I believe, with Rose. A little bit of
Okay.
Rose and a little bit of Wendy, I believe. So, because I met this guy on the app, and it's pushing, like it has been 3 weeks, and so I said to him, he's like, oh, I've been so busy, my work schedule, all that crap. And so I said, well, I feel like we should have met by now. And he says, yeah, I'd really like to meet you in person.
But let me
uh
rephrase that for you.
uh-huh.
It's been really great getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel more comfortable chatting on the phone, meeting on person. What do you think? Because we don't want to use the word should. Once we start should
Okay.
on other people, we're
Mm-hmm.
taking the role of mommy.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want to
Okay.
do that.
Right. And so actually we talked today,
Oh, good. Okay.
and he says, well, I'm off work tomorrow. I said, okay, what does that mean? He says, well,
Right.
do you like, I'm like, I'm not trying to read between the lines. I didn't say that to
Right.
him, but that was in my
Exactly.
mind.
Right.
And so then he says, well, if you want to get together, I said,
He's really
and
hedging his bets there.
yeah, I said, well, when to do what? He was like, well, it depends on you. Like I said, well, maybe we can do lunch. I said, but I have the kind of job where I don't have a set lunch schedule, so it kind of depends on how my day's flowing on when I may
Okay.
go to lunch. And I told him that. He was like, well, tell me where you want to meet, and I can meet you there. And if you're not there, I can just order your food, which I definitely wouldn't do. And it'll be ready when you get there. And so,
Sounds nice though, but
well,
that's
I mean, it's
considerate.
nice, it's nice, yeah, but I
He's
wouldn't
trying
want
to
him
make sure you get fed, which is
yeah,
good
yeah.
because
So I
some
would
men
call him
ask.
on the way. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say some men. I mean, I have clients. Some men ask them out to dinner, and they go out. They're like, "What are we eating? What are we eating? When are we eating?" It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, here we'll get a hot dog at Costco." No.
yeah. So, and yeah, you're right. I thought it was a really sweet gesture.
Yeah.
But I guess where I'm stuck is one, it's a duty date, and now that I know that that's what it's called, right? Because I
Mhm.
don't know that there's anything romantic there, but who knows once I meet him?
Yeah, you
And I
never know
think our
until you meet them. Yes.
conflicting schedules, and maybe I'm in my head, maybe create a challenge, but it's I'm hung up on him instead of saying, and I guess I could suggest it. What area do you want to meet in? And then he can figure it out. He wants me to give
To
him
do
a
all the
list of
work.
places.
So,
Yeah.
yes. So we can tweak your language a little bit so that will
Uh-huh.
provoke him into taking
Mm-hmm.
charge. So what you could say is, well, tell him when you're available.
Okay.
This thing with the lunch, I don't think that was a great idea because you don't even know if you can show up.
Right,
So
exactly.
that's
And
not
I
good.
was very honest with them about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, it's better to be like, he says, I'm free tomorrow. Great. I get off at 7. I'll be available from 7 on. What are you thinking? Ask about
Right.
thoughts. What are you thinking?
Okay.
Oh, well, I was thinking whatever you want. And then you can say, I feel more comfortable with you deciding where we go. I want to
Okay.
see what you want, you know.
Okay. I can try that.
Yeah.
But I have a dentist appointment after work, so I know after work won't work, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
so
definitely
yeah,
won't.
so that'll be challenging to give a
Okay, so
specific
try to make
time.
this lunch date happen if you can.
Okay. Okay. I'll try
And
it and see what happens.
yeah, he sounds like,
And
he's trying.
yeah, and then really quick, another thing, again, I don't know if I feel like another one of the ladies brought this up. If I read too much into things that the guys say, not read too much, but there's this guy, we chatted for the first time yesterday on the app. And well, his first question to me was, what area do you live in? Which is, kind of, it makes sense, right? He wants to see if I'm too far. I said, well, my profile is current. Is yours? Because I believe mine has, shows what area I live in. And he says, yeah. I said, oh, okay. So based on both of our profiles, we're not that far in terms of distance. And so he says, well, what area do you work in? Or do you work for the area do you work in? Is it far from home? I said, well, it's not too bad. What
Right.
about you? And then he was like, yeah, I work in LA, lives in Costa Mesa. And so I was like, okay, but he came back. We never had any other exchange of any other conversation, right? I guess, which is why this throws me off. And then he comes back again and circles back to, where area do I work in? And so I asked him, why is he asking me that?
Yeah.
Because, like, why are you fixed on that? Kind of,
Does
and
he
so
just
I
want
mean,
a girl
I
in
didn't ask
Costa
him that.
Mesa? Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, that could be.
He's like, look,
I
if
didn't
you're
even
not
think
in
about that.
like a 2 block radius, forget it.
Yeah. Or maybe
No,
he
but
feels like he's seen me.
that
And
seems a
and
little annoying. I'd say that's yellow
yeah.
flag. You could still meet him, but it's like, Jesus Christ, the same question,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many other questions to
But
ask.
men don't know what to say. They know the pressure's
That's
on them to
true.
make a conversation. And so
Right.
it's good to, try to work with them. Um,
Yeah.
it's really up to you. I mean, it's not great that he's asking the same exact question again.
In different format. Yeah.
Right. It seems
I
like
thought
he's a
maybe it was
little
an IQ
fixated,
test.
and
Yeah,
that
to see
seems
if I could.
off.
Yeah.
It seems like he's off balance a little, you know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, yellow flag on that guy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was my last question. Thank you.
Okay, you are so welcome. Okay, Elizabeth, quick
Hey,
question.
yes, quick question. So this
Okay.
is my third time. I'll just be really quick.
Okay.
So there is a guy I've known for 6 years. And he expressed interest in me first. I knew of him, but I didn't think much of it because I was focused on my life, my work. And he didn't, the thing is, I didn't know. He didn't tell me, like he didn't make it known. So he's a very manly,
But you
masculine
just
man.
said you knew he was interested in you.
Right, but I'll tell you how I knew this.
Okay.
So he's a very, in my opinion, he's very masculine in his masculine energy, the way he talks, he wants his thoughts respected. He was in the army when he was younger. He comes off that way.
Okay.
So that's something I liked about him. I like to be in my feminine energy, but I am in my masculine energy for work because I have to be.
Of course.
But so what happened is the thing with him, and I don't know if this is a masculine or feminine trait. The thing is, his weakness is that before he pursues anybody, before he shows interest in anybody, he has to get approval. Like, I mean, he wants an opinion, and like he seeks validation from his friends whom he considers family. And he has two close friends. He has a woman friend who is in her masculine energy. She's
Oh my
very
God.
aggressive.
Right.
And then he has a best friend who is another man who was in the military before. These two, like, they used to go to lunch every day. They're inseparable. But this man, his friend, man friend, he's in his feminine energy. So these two knew me. Okay, they knew me.
Mhm.
This is friends, and they did not like me. Or
Okay.
the reason they didn't like me is because they knew of his interest in me because he told them. He told them, "What do you think of Elizabeth?" And then they were like,
So
"Elizabeth."
they kiboshed you like Susan's friends.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear her story, but yeah,
Okay.
the friends were like, well, why her? Like they wanted him because I didn't know this, but he comes from money. I didn't know this about him at that time. And he earns a good salary. He has a good job. So they want like they're looking at him, like helping them out, like for financially, you know what I mean? Like
Yes, they don't
they
want a
don't,
threat. They want him all to
yes.
themselves.
Yes, but he thought they were looking out for his best interest. Well, if Elizabeth has this reputation that you guys say she does, then which was all like a smear campaign, rumors, because I keep to myself. I'm not out there partying,
You
like
don't
I
need to
basically,
prove it to me. I believe
right,
you.
right. So the thing is, so now I have this whole story and smear campaign about me, and I didn't even know. See, I was
How
so
did you
in.
find out?
How did I find out? But by the way, the friends who spread the rumors to other people, by the way
Oh,
other people were
someone
treating
told
me.
you.
No, they were treating me a certain way, and I figured it out by the way I was being treated, you know?
Okay.
Like I just kind of figured it out like the way it's just a feeling, I knew something was being said about me. I couldn't put my finger on it. And not only that, the woman, that friend of his, she was very aggressive with me. She was just awful to me. So, I finally told him several months ago, this person, your friend and your best friend, have been like slandering me for years. Like I didn't say it like that. I basically
Mhm.
insinuated that these two are like this way, and he was like, his response was, I'm not quite following you. You know, like he was acting ignorant, like he had no idea
Mhm.
what I was talking about. But he was like, yeah, he was willing to hear me out because see, we were acquaintances, we were sort of friends. Like if
Okay.
it's just him and me, if it's just him and me, we're fine.
So
It's when
what's
these
your
people,
question?
my question is, I don't know, because see, I've known him for 6 years, and I don't know if it's worth. Do you need to wait for a man for 6 years to figure out what he wants and
No.
to for him to listen to other people's opinions? And like now he believes me, okay? Now because I have evidence on what they've been doing, and now he believes me, right? And he's distanced himself from some of his friends, but they are still toxic people around him. I can't deny that. So should I do how important is a man's
He's
friends, and should I be like, should I just move on because it's just kind of like, I feel I'm in an unfair position because of this, and you know what I mean, like I don't know.
okay. So you're wanting to be in the feminine energy? Is that
I'm
correct?
wanting to do that, and I'm wanting to do that, but I have to deal with all these people who are in their masculine energy, so I have to be aggressive with them, otherwise
With
they'd
them.
win.
That's fine. That's fine. But with them, but I mean in your relationship
Yes,
with
I'd
him.
like to
Okay.
do that. Yes.
Okay, so now he knows. It sounds like the hard part is over. Now he knows, and we'll see what he does. Don't wait around for him. Go out and date other people. There's a bunch of yellow flags here. Somebody puts in the I agree with Raul. A man shouldn't be dependent on someone else's opinion. And also Wendy, if he needs their approval, he doesn't sound so masculine or mature. Agreed. Now he's separating from them. Great. We'll just have to see how this plays out because, I understand he said some more encouraging words to you now, but the proof is going to be his actions. Is he going to ask you out? Is he going to cherish your feelings? Is he interested? Does he want to take care of you? If not, please don't waste your time on him anymore. It sounds like a ton of work. And if he has a lot of people in his corner who don't like you and he likes them, it's going to be too difficult for you. You understand?
Oh.
You're setting up you're in a situation where a lot is stacked against you already.
Well, Chloe, I'm not gonna find a guy because I'm in my 40s. At my age, people have other people in their lives
No, no,
already
no,
who are
no, no.
friends.
That's a script. That's a script. There's a lid for every pot. I'm not saying cut him off. Let's just see what he does. But in the meantime, please try and date a couple other people.
But is it positive? Can I just think of it as positive that he's gray rocking that woman? He's gray rocking her, and he's kind of sort of distanced himself from that masculine friend.
Yes, I
Um,
think that's a step in the right direction, certainly. But, let's just see what he does next. I don't like the idea of you waiting around. There
okay.
are other men out there. He's not the only one. Trust
I
me.
know. I've just kind of been conditioned to just focus on one person, and then if it doesn't work out, find another
Right.
person.
That's how
But
we are.
that's not
But
a good strategy,
no, it's not.
So
Women often overcommit. Like we meet someone we like, and suddenly we're like walking down the aisle and we're not paying attention to the other two, three guys around us. Maybe somebody's better. you know, it's nice when someone likes you. And that's part of the idea behind duty dating is getting some momentum going for yourself, right? But please don't commit. If the relationship hasn't been articulated, you guys aren't in a relationship. So you're totally 100% single. I'm not saying go sleep with a bunch of different guys, but please put yourself out there. Try doing the 5 flirts that I described to Rose. And don't,
It's
marry
just
this
so
guy before
discouraging.
you're even in a
Yeah.
relationship.
I mean, it's just so discouraging because now I have this awful thing behind me, and now, I have to meet new people. It's just a lot of work, and I mean, I know I have to do it, but
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's more discouraging to just sit around alone, right?
Mhm.
So either way, I mean, I think there's this idea that we're going to get to a point in life where we're going to have all just positive feelings and no real negative feelings. And that's just not really the case. As long as there's pain, there's pleasure. Everybody has to get up in the morning and, do their laundry and make their breakfast and do a bunch of crap that they don't want to do. That's just part of life.
But
There's
my
nothing
question
you
is,
can do about it.
would a man in his true masculine energy care so much about other people's opinions?
No, probably not.
Okay.
But most of us are works in progress. So that's why I'm saying keep it open. Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna cut it off now, because I usually just do an hour and we're a little over time. But I'll be here next week. And please, you guys, if you are interested in this work, the link is in the chat for the module packages. Sign up. I get requests for it all year long. And then when I'm actually doing it, then people are like, what? Oh, I didn't know. And what? I thought I was registered. Okay. You're not registered unless you've paid. You should use the link for the sign up. I'll reach out to you for the payment. It's really reasonably priced. All the information's on my website. Also on my Instagram if you want to check that out, or you can ask me questions. So that's starting Saturday. That's the only module 1 left for this year. So if you guys want to do that, that's that. And I do have 1, maybe 2 spots left. So sign up for that. If not, I also work with people one-on-one, so we can set up a private. Those are great too. And this recording will be available for you guys wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. If I don't hear from you before next week, I will speak to you then. Thanks for coming.